Hey. There you are. I heard.
Please go to.
I know.
Jimmy's gonna hate us.
There's more where that came from.
All right, we will do the committee of the whole to get started. We have a lot of guests here to talk about their legislation, it sounds like, or looks like. First, we'll start with the minutes from the last meeting. They all looked good to me, and the public hearing as well. Thank you, Emily. The second one is Alderman Marticello, the recreation fee schedule.
Very simply put, there's no changes in the fee schedule from last year. And Rob is here to answer any questions for you, but even though we went over it, over in the meeting, and they decided to leave all the fees as they were last year. Want to explain, Rob? Go ahead.
Just if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask or interrupt me. But so, as I think everybody knows, the Recreation Commission got put back into service probably 4 or 5 months ago. In consecutive meetings, we went over, one of the things we went over was the fee schedule for 2025. And, you know, after discussions on a lot of different things, it was recommended to leave the fee schedule the same as it was in 2024. We raised prices in 2023, or we raised prices in 23 and 24, I should say. So it was decided by, you know, for a bunch of different reasons to leave the schedules as is. I don't remember which aldermen were there on those nights. I know Alderman Marticello was there once, Alderman Carpenter and Alderman Holliday. And they were involved in discussions as well. But I don't recall exactly who was there on those evenings. So if anybody has any questions, we'll be rated about a zero balance again this year. Last year, there was substantial surplus from the events. This year, you know, by the looks of it, at the end of this month, it'll be, you know, right around even, give or take a couple bucks.
Rob, I didn't see Riverfest on your vendor list. I know you talked about maybe possibly changing that. Was that left off on purpose?
So we talked about that at the recreation, you know, at the commission meeting. We followed up with the mayor and, yeah, we decided to try something new for 2025.
Okay. Thank you.
Rob, do you want to just quickly, for the council's edification, go over the events that are money losers?
Yep, I have that right here. So the two big losses, and it's about $25,000 loss between the two events this year, 2024. Italia Fest is every year. It was cut down somewhat the last couple of years because we couldn't get amusement park rides. But this year with the amusement park rides back, it was a $13,000 and change loss. I have the exact number, but I think it was like 13,155. And then 4th of July, the fireworks, the bands, water ski show, that was about a $12,000 loss. So those are the two major ones. Now there's a lot that offset them with income, you know, that have surpluses. The ones that we have surplus on most of the time, or all of the time, are the restaurant events, because we really don't incur a lot of expenses on St. Patrick's Day, Soup Fest, Wing Fest. You know, and we do get sponsorships for those events. So those are general money makers. I don't want to say money makers, but there's a surplus that just goes into the kitty, so to speak. Spring Fling, you know, where there was $1,000 over. Healthy Living was a $4,000 overage. Everything else, Summer Camp was a $4,000 loss. Sunset Festivals was a, well, I don't want to misspeak. there's revenue outstanding yet that'll bring our balance to zero. The numbers I'm quoting you are not including the revenue that's outstanding yet. It's the numbers I'm giving you are exactly up to the minute. So they may change a little bit by what, there's some sponsors that haven't paid yet. But I mean, they're going to, they pay every year.
But it's 4th of July and Italian Fest.
Those are the two. Everything else is, you
And
know,
did you talk with the Recreation Commission about any way to reduce those deficits?
we
on those
broached
two?
that subject, and that's one of the topics at the next meeting is to get into 2025 events, revenue stream expenses.
Okay.
So that's definitely, one of the things. But those are the two. I mean, the fireworks alone, I think we're 6,500 on 4th
Do you
of
get
July.
fireworks sponsors now? Is that what you try to do?
We do, that was CDTA,
One time CDTA did it.
yeah. They gave $5,000, but we also have fireworks at Italian Fest, so,
Right.
you know, there's, you know, I don't wanna say more than
No,
we
I'm
can
talking
do.
about sponsoring, like you get a sponsor for the event, and do we get sponsors for the components of the event?
Yes,
you know?
yes. St. Mary's, Healthcare is a, ride sponsor.
Right, things like that.
5,000, so yeah, we do get, components, of the event sponsored. Like I said, there's more to do, you know, we can offer, you know, we can make up anything and offer a sponsorship. It's just a matter of time, you know what I mean, and manpower and, finding
Okay.
somebody that wants to give you the money too.
I noticed that you had $500 for a sponsorship for the tree lighting ceremony. Has that gone up from the previous raise of low?
No,
So would it make sense, just out of curiosity, would it make sense to raise that a little bit? Because I think that's a really good, solid event.
you know, I can give you, my opinion is, I think we're really lucky to get the money that we get from people,
Okay.
local businesses. And I'm not saying raise anything, lower anything, I'm just saying, I think we're very fortunate with the amount of money, you know, that we bring in every year. And thankfully, they're the same businesses pretty much over and over and over. So I think they're happy with what they're getting. The major title sponsorship is $2,000. And then, like the mayor said, you know, there's components that we do break down for other things that are less than that, you know.
And the council should keep in mind that there are also additional expenses the city undergoes for overtime with our police, for our fire
Right.
on these events as well. So we do subsidize these events with public monies. And I think it's important that we point that out.
We track, yeah, and I'm sorry I didn't qualify that earlier, but we track, you know, the expenses directly associated with the events, not the police, the fire, or, you know, trash, things like that.
So have you thought of other types of events that could maybe, instead of doing the same event every year, swap it out for something different?
We did change, a couple this year,
Okay.
actually for 2025. We're thinking this, and we talked with the mayor about, you know, we had a lengthy discussion, with Michelle and the mayor, and, you know, thinking the same thing, you know, it might be, some things seem like they're getting a little stale, we'll try something different.
Any other questions for Ms. Kelly, whenever you're ready?
Thank you, Rob.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Rob.
Everybody have a good night.
All right, the next one is also Alderman Marticello, resolution approving use of ARPA funds for Shuttleworth Park electrical work.
Yes, we have, Dan, this year.
Actually, Rob,
That's, I just
Rob,
thought of it, and I got
Yeah,
back.
thanks, Rob.
That's funny.
Well, Matt.
Welcome back. Heard the
Yes, sir.
cameras, and no, wait, I better
It's
stop.
for the cameras. But I'd rather have you explain it. Go ahead.
I'm not familiar with the resolution because I didn't know what it was, but I'm assuming it's for the shortage,
need to bring the
the electrical to, wherever it was needed
Mhm.
to supply the power for the cameras that run throughout Veterans Park and run throughout Shuttleworth Park. That was not including the cameras. This was totally separate. It was the, Executive Electric who did all the work. You know, I will say the camera company was really satisfied with their work. They were thrilled with how they handled everything, because I think it's quite intricate with the angling of the cameras and where the power had to be, and they were right on the money every time. So it did work out well. I know it's a little more than we had hoped for, the price was gonna be. But, you know, that's the way it played out.
I'm gonna be coming back, we're meeting to square away our ARPA allocations, so we'll come back to you at the next meeting in December with a complete listing. So, you'll know exactly what we're proposing to you to use the ARPA funding for, but this is one of the big items
And we have to the end of the year to allocate that.
until the end of the year, so we're gonna do that by the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, Rob, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Chief, how are the cameras, chief?
They're working great. They actually assisted in the apprehension of a burglary suspect from the Shuttleworth Mohawks Pavilion. Someone tried to walk off with their milkshake machine,
Oh, yeah.
so we were able to use the footage to apprehend
Fantastic,
that suspect.
good news.
Thank
Good
you.
news for the milkshake lovers
I
next time.
know.
Not item today.
Some people really like milkshakes. I guess.
All right,
Next,
Snow
Go ahead,
cone
Kel.
machine. All right, the next one. Alderman Marcelo is the star of the show this
these
month.
are all from the Ansem Housing Authority.
Yes.
And Dan called me up, and that's why, and I am the alderman in that ward, plus I am their liaison.
You are.
And I talked to Damaris Carbone about most of these resolutions, and basically they're standard, okay? And resolution to authorize a contract with BBG Real Estate Service for post-construction appraisals for the home-funded, owner-occupied rehab program. And it's funny, because when I called Dan, there's a woman that just moved here from the Bronx, New York. And I told Dan, she asked me, where can I get funding? Because I just bought this house. And Dan Gray came through for me. So, go right ahead, Dan. Did a good job. And that's a $500,000 home grant from New York State Housing Trust Fund. And it's been explained itself, there are people here that do need money, especially if you lose a 1, 2, 3, the fourth whereas clause, where BBG Real Estate Services has proposed to provide post-construction appraisals at a rate of $1,150 per report for any single-family home, or at a rate of $1,350 per report for a duplex or higher intensity. And I think that's gonna help a lot of homes in the city of Amsterdam, because we have a lot of those 2-family, 3-family or more. And there are some people right now that the disposition committee sold homes to, that people are buying, and they're definitely gonna use this money to rehab their houses. It's great.
So, do they get liens on their property for this money?
Yep.
How many years?
5 years.
5? Okay, it's not bad.
No, it's very good.
It's been popular so far. We've already, 6 or 7 applications.
so Dan, I just have a question. If somebody, these grants, is there a minimum amount? Is there a maximum amount? What is the deal?
The maximum amount that we're working with right now is $50,000.
50. But you can ask for less than that. So if the guy gets a grant, needs a grant for 10, we gotta pay 5 for construction management?
So the way it'll work is they'll come to us, we're gonna go in and address the code violations. We have to inspect the entirety of the house and ensure there isn't, beyond what they say, is the code violations, that there isn't any other issues. The old houses in the city, I haven't talked to anybody yet who doesn't have a significant amount of repairs they need to have done. So, I mean, in theory, that would be true, but that's unlikely that somebody.
I'm saying, so if somebody only needs 10, we still have to pay 5?
Yes.
That comes out of the money that
Mhm.
you're giving us? Oh, okay.
This is like a 50-50 grant, Dan?
It's 100%. We'll pay 100%.
100%?
Yep, it's intended for low to moderate residents, and generally speaking, if they come to us for the money for the repairs, they wouldn't have the assets to fix it.
And there's a cap on how much money you can make.
Yes.
Are we doing first come, first serve, or what are we doing?
We're doing first come, first serve, yep.
Well, that's good. I don't know if we've seen it.
Yeah.
The applications we've gotten thus far are pretty significant amount of work that needs to be done to houses, so. Generally porches, roofs, heating systems.
Okay.
All right, so the first resolution has to do with, the appraisals, that they would handle the appraisals, and the second one would be the housing, the construction management of these projects, correct?
Yeah.
So
For
that,
construction services.
okay,
That
and
we
then
don't-
also the third one,
That's not, that's.
that's a different company. Is that right, for lead abatement in that situation?
Yeah, that's for the lead, asbestos, and radon testing. Federal regulations require us to do, testing on all three.
Now, Dan, I just have one question. Daniel Welly helped you with these grant applications?
Yes.
She wrote the grant?
She didn't write this year, she wrote this year, this is from last year,
Okay.
but she wrote this year's application for us. And she helped get these, the RFPs put out to get these contracts.
Very good.
All right, again, so the second one is the Amsterdam Housing Authority will do the construction management. And then the third one is Mid-Atlantic LLC for the lead-based paint, asbestos and radon.
And then you'll look in the back, you'll see the proposals, one from BBG, the other one from ECS Mid-Atlantic. And they're in the back of your folder.
So these three work together, the lead base, the rehab, the whole part of the one program?
Yeah, it's all the same program. These are the steps that HUD requires us to take to be able to utilize their money, or HDR requires us to utilize their money.
Well, then we'll have
No, probably, yes. Lead and asbestos, generally speaking.
Uh-huh.
All right,
A lot of people.
any other questions regarding that? Great, the next, I'll jump to the consent resolution. Alderman Marticello awarding contract for 40 golf carts.
Yeah, the bids for the golf carts were advertised, but said by the city clerk and open public on December 2nd. Alderman Carpenter and I have been attending all the golf meetings, and this was discussed, and all 5 of the commission members all voted upon it, and Alderman and I were witness to all this. So this was a unanimous vote by golf commission. And I believe the 239,000, is that coming out of a bond?
We're gonna do band for it, yes. We can renew the band 5 times, so we're gonna basically spread the financing over 5 years.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
Okay.
great. We also have the 2 ordinances that we'll be voting on tonight. The fees related to towing and the non-smoking and no smoking in parks. Are there anything we want to talk about?
We got a public hearing?
We
We did last.
we did,
Right.
and then this week we have 1 though, right?
No, we have 2, we have 2 tonight.
Right,
These 2 tonight.
we
Oh,
scheduled
this is
public-
tonight, and then
yes.
we're gonna vote on
We
it. That's
scheduled
right.
public hearings last meeting,
Yes,
one is at 5:50, one's at 5:55 tonight.
perfect. All right. Any discussion on those?
Nope.
Excellent. Let's jump over to, any commissions or committees.
Real quick before
Oh,
you, if you mind.
sure, go for it.
We need 3 executive sessions at the end of the meeting. The first one will be for pending litigation. The second one will be for contracts and negotiations. And the third one will be for personnel. I'll recite all of the proper sections, but just a preview for all of them, we'll be doing 3 executive sessions.
On these executive sessions, which department head do we need here?
We have Brian and Kim here for contracts and negotiations, and I think that's the only department head that we need.
Are there any public safety?
For the pending litigation one, I would welcome Chief Spencer to.
Yeah, I would ask from this point, if there's a pending litigation as far as the police department, I would like the chief here.
That's,
Thank you.
And we'll be having, the first one will be regarding litigation, and then we have to make a decision on it. So we'll probably come out, vote, and then we'll go back in.
We could do all of the executive sessions.
And then vote at the
and then
end.
when we come out, I'm expecting that we're going to be taking action, on the litigation issue.
Okay, so you wanna do all three together?
Yep, and then we'll come out, when we're done with the third executive session, we'll come back into public session and do the business that needs to be done, and then adjourn the meeting.
Questions? All right, commissions. We heard a little bit about golf.
Yes, there's one other thing, I'm surprised it's not on here. The fees,
The fee, yeah, the new fee schedule, right?
right, I mean, they discussed it, they okayed it at least a month ago. I'm surprised it's not here.
I don't know if they submitted it to the mayor yet.
Have you seen it?
They haven't, I've not seen
They
it.
have not seen
But
it.
at our last golf commission meeting, the one the mayor attended, they were gonna shift it over to you.
Right,
I have not seen
you
it.
haven't seen
And
it.
we
Okay.
haven't had a golf commission meeting since our last council meeting.
Okay, just so you all know, they
Yeah.
voted a 5% increase.
Yeah.
That's what they voted for, a 5% increase, which basically, like I said, is mostly almost $2 and $3.
Okay.
Okay? And Recreation Commission, since last meeting, we haven't had a meeting.
Is that a certain day of the month? Is that like the first Monday or something, or?
It's like, I'm
Yeah, I
not
think
sure.
it is a set
Mon-
day, but
Hmm?
it is a set day, I just don't know. what
Yeah,
time it
I
is.
think it's Thursday now. Once a
It
month-
was
Once a month on a
Monday?
Thursday, but they
before, I
switch.
believe it was the day before our last council meeting.
Right,
Right, that was Ollie's, that was their birthday, Ollie and him.
Okay, it's up 5:50,
Okay.
so we have a public hearing.
Yes. Public hearing on ordinance F, modifying section 167-4 of the city code for no smoking at parks.
Is there anyone here from the public who would like to speak on this? No? Okay, we're gonna call that public hearing closed. Move on.
Okay. Any update on the cannabis zoning committee? Have you all met?
Yeah, things are going very well. We're making some good headway, primarily, especially I should say, in, the defining smoke shops and kind of what we wanna, have that look like within the city. And, yeah, so things are going very well.
I thought last night's meeting was extremely productive.
Yeah, we've
And
been,
again, with the help of
Well,
Anthony.
my pleasure.
totally.
what is the next?
Next meeting is,
6:60.
2 weeks from yesterday.
December 16th.
If I may, where I'm expecting all of this to lead is after the December 16th meeting, I'm expecting the committee will make certain recommendations to the common council. Then the common council, I'm expecting, is going to want to enact certain legislation, zoning legislation. If we find ourselves in a position where we can introduce that zoning legislation at the first meeting in January, and therefore be able to vote on it at the second meeting in January, then that's the path where we would not need to further extend the moratorium. If, however, we're unable to introduce new legislation at that first meeting in January, you should expect that there will be a local law proposing a further extension of the moratorium. And I'm envisioning that extension would be a 30-day extension this time, if necessary.
I thought we already had till March, no?
We have till February.
Till February, okay.
So,
That makes
so
sense then. It would get us to
we're right
March.
up against it.
Gotcha.
We may very well, and I think it's likely that we're going to need to extend it one more time for 30 days. But the committee's nearing the end of its business, and then the baton will get passed to the common council to do its business. But all of these things are going to take some meetings and some time, and I think it's likely that we're gonna need to extend the moratorium for 30 days.
Okay.
Okay, it's now 5:55 for our second public hearing.
Public hearing on ordinance G, modifying section 219-1 towing fees in the city. Anyone?
Anyone here to speak on towing fees? Okay, then we'll declare that one closed, and we can move on.
Okay. And I saw that the cannabis meeting was on, was televised, publicized, however, so that was great. I will be watching it now that I can. But I'd like to say I heard from a lot of constituents, but I heard from my mom that it was on YouTube, so she pays attention. And then registered agent committee was another thing that
We've not had a meeting yet.
Okay. Anything anyone's hearing from their wards?
Snow.
Snow? or
We
snowstorm?
continue to have a problem with people not adhering to the alternate parking situation, which causes plows to go down the center of the street. And then once they move their cars, whatever was there around their car becomes a big ice pond. It's several streets. I honestly do not believe that it is a DPW issue. I think that it's maybe an enforcement issue, but I do hear that they have been out writing tickets. Especially like I've had a couple of calls from Slater Street where I went down, the minute I got the call on Saturday, I went down and you could tell that it was a mess. But it was a mess because there were so many cars parked all down the street that once they moved everything, it just left all that debris of snow sitting there. So that's really been the only issue other than, again, with the snow and some clearing of some sidewalks and things like that.
The conditions haven't helped. I mean, we got
No.
dumped on Thanksgiving Day with that wet snow, and then it got very cold afterwards and it all froze.
We had a lot of snow turn to ice, which made it very difficult. We've had a constant temperature of freezing pretty much since the storm. We're expecting another storm tomorrow night into Thursday. It's, I think the last report I saw was 2 to 4 inches, but if it changes and we have the same kind of situation, we will probably have some more phone calls about nobody clearing streets when it's really not that type of thing.
Well, we did have a department head meeting. We did talk about the situation, and both the police department and DPW, we're working together. It was a tough storm. It did happen on Thanksgiving. It did take time to get it activated. We're still waiting for 2 new snow plows as well,
Sure.
which are on order. But I do want to say that I thought, and I was out of town. I had no idea what was happening here, and there was no snow where I was. But I do think we'll be prepared this winter to do a good job.
In the interest of Thanksgiving, I mean, I tried to get a lot of the residents to understand that the plow drivers, it's Thanksgiving for them too. They're coming in and they're addressing the situation as much as they can, and they're, I say all the time that those people are the real heroes of the city because they're out there at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm very happy that they do all that.
Okay.
It's very difficult for them to plow if both sides of the street have
Absolutely.
cars.
I think Phillips Street had the same problem.
But I don't get the calls because they know. They know they're supposed to do that. But, I think, using all means of communication, telling people with alternate parking. I mean, we used to have a radio station say it and announce it for us every single day. And we don't have that anymore. And then you have Facebook, but you have a lot of people that are seniors that are not on Facebook or listening. They can't hear it on the radio. So if they don't remember, or they do remember, so it's kind of hard. So I don't know what other way we can announce these.
Again, I
We
think
would
there are
like to
going to be
make all
situations in
of
every
yeah.
snowstorm where
Yeah.
certain streets are going to suffer.
Right.
But in general, the amount of time it took our crews to clean the streets was well within the acceptable range
Right.
overall.
Those guys are amazing.
I'd like to say that the LED light program's going very well.
Yep.
That's
It's a different
an update
kind of
from my
light, isn't
ward.
it?
Yeah.
It is, and I had a constituent reach out to me and ask if they can get their street light fixed, and just a few hours later, it would just so happen to be put in, so it was serendipitous timing.
And you took credit for that, didn't you?
Of course, I mean, why wouldn't you,
I love when that happens.
right? And I also want to thank the sewer crew. They were at a house across the street from me this Sunday in what seemed to be an emergency fashion, and it's nice to know that we have a city that cares so much to do stuff that not many other municipalities would do, so.
Yep. No,
A warm fuzzy meeting we have tonight.
Okay, let's stand for the pledge of allegiance, call it to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderwoman Quist Mars,
Here.
Alderman Holliday,
Here.
Alderwoman Collins.
Here.
Alderman Carpenter.
Here.
Alderman Marticello.
Here,
Motion to adopt the agenda. Do we want to mention the executive session at this point?
No.
No? Okay, motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make it a motion to adopt the agenda with one consent resolution. You can call the roll.
Alderwoman Quist Mars,
Aye.
Alderman Holliday,
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
We did have a proclamation which I made at the lighting of the Christmas tree, which was a great event, by the way. I know that a couple aldermen were able to be there, but we did recognize the Mohawk Valley Choir for their 90th anniversary as an organization. And for the last 4 years, they've been singing carols at the lighting, tree lighting, regardless of what the weather is like. And sometimes it's very cold. But they're a great group. They've been an institution in our city since 1935 when they were formed as a company choir by the Mohawk Carpet Company. And they've been singing ever since, and they do a great, fantastic job. They've been all over the country singing, and they've always got great singers, great musicians, great directors. And I don't want to read the proclamation at this point, but I do want to recognize them as part of this meeting.
Great.
Do we have any communications and presentations? I don't think so. Then we're going to go right to the public participation. There's nobody here to talk, so
Tonight, Ken.
we're
What do
going
you
to
have
go
to
to
say?
Mr. Clark for his engineering report.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I was just gonna mention quickly that as far as the plowing goes, our plow crews, they've always have worked closely with APD. And when it's necessary, and they can get through, and especially on the narrower streets, you know, that it's common practice that we'll call APD, an officer will be there, try to get people to move. Generally, we try not to, there's always an attempt not to have mass towings, and that's a good thing. But, you know, when on some of the narrower streets and there's an awful lot of snow and, you know, our drivers will call. And if we can avoid it, we try to avoid it. And just you wind up making another pass again. You never, it's like you say, Mayor, you know, once those folks move, there's all that close to the curb line, you gotta clean it up. It's almost a given that after a big snowstorm, the next day, you gotta go through and clean up after folks that didn't adhere to the alternate parking.
And we are, at this point, I want to mention, we are looking at the whole ticketing process, and the enforcement of the ticketing process, using technology in a way, hopefully that will, give people an added incentive to move their cars on snow days, so. But again, in general, I was pleased with the overall result of the snow plowing on Thanksgiving holiday.
Sure.
Thanks, Mike, go ahead.
Also, briefly, I've had this on the report for a while. We're still dealing with the West Side Pump Station and rebuild issues. We're running just on pump number 2. 1 and 3 are out for rebuilds. There are expensive rebuilds, and had discussions with our insurance carrier that those rebuild costs are being covered as well. And just as importantly, the costs we're incurring every month to maintain bypass pumping there and standby. We've got to do that because I have no redundancy currently with just one pump. This will likely go on for that, although I don't expect anybody here to see any impact. We're not likely not to have this buttoned up until spring at this rate, and the work that needs to be done. Previously, I mentioned that the lead service line inventory was submitted. There've been letters out. We've had a lot of contact from private homeowners. If any of you elected folks get contact and you're not sure of the answer, by all means, send them to the engineer's office, have them call, and we can fill them in on what it really means. There's some confusion when they hear lead, right? And also many people now, more than ever before, want us to come in and go into their basement and verify what their side of the service is. We're more than happy to do it. We're scheduling them almost every day of the week right now, so please direct calls to my office and we will schedule an appointment for them. Also of great importance and great interest, the bid opening for the clubhouse project is Friday, December 13th, 2024. That is, and it is my hope that we will have a resolution to the council. The following, we have a meeting on the 17th. So I hope to bring a resolution to the council at that point to award.
Is there a lot of interest in that, Mike?
There's a lot of interest, Mayor, because there are multiple contracts, the general mechanical, electrical, plumbing. There are close to 40 plan holders out there. Some of the GCs that have hold plans right now are some pretty good names. So I'm optimistic at this point that there's gonna be a big turnout for that. And that is always good for us.
And we gave them a week extension on that.
I gave them a week extension because it wasn't gonna impact our ability to, get to the council and bring a resolution, to select someone and get this project into the next step. Also, is one of them, I have the two bridge items from previous, I didn't remove them. I thought they were still interesting. And to Alderman Holliday's point about the streetlights, email from the project manager, on that, they're at nearly 600 lights as of today. By all appearances, their work plan is that they're trying to get it seems like they've pretty much tackled the majority of the main streets, not Main Street, but main streets. And so I would expect them to begin to work into the neighborhoods off of those streets shortly. And the last thing I wanted to bring up tonight is that Esperanza Verde Park, I talked to the contractor and I talked to the vendor of the playground equipment, and we're looking at some moderating temperatures next week. The plan is for them to pour the remainder of the flat work, the concrete slab for the playground park area. Next week they have installed the slab between the playground equipment and the splash pad now. And we are looking at the vendor is gonna begin installing the structures. It'll be done in the middle of winter, but it'll be done. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions for the engineer?
What time is the bid opening?
11 o'clock. We always try to do them at 11 o'clock.
Any others? Thank you, Mike. Louise, Controller's report?
I don't really have a report. I would just like to mention that we are going through our annual financial audit right now. We actually have auditors on site this week, and so far everything's going smoothly. Our things will be wrapped up a little earlier than they were last year.
From the state?
No, this is our independent.
Very good, thank you, Chris.
Are there any questions for Louise, the Controller? All right. And we don't have any old business, correct? So we're on to new business, the resolutions.
Resolution 2425-92 by Alderwoman Quista Demars. Resolution adopting minutes and the public hearing minutes of the last common council meeting.
So moved. Can you call the roll?
Alderwoman Quista Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Resolution 2425-93 by Alderman Marticello. Resolution approving the 2025 recreation fee schedule.
So, any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quista Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter. Resolution 2425-94 by Alderman Marticello. Resolution approving use of ARPA funds for Shuttleworth Park electrical work.
So moved. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello?
Aye.
Alderwoman Christomars?
Aye.
Alderman Holliday?
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins?
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter?
Aye.
Resolution 242595 by Alderman Marticello. Resolution to authorize contract with BBG Real Estate Services for post-construction appraisals for the home-funded owner-occupied rehab program.
So moved. Discussion? Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello?
Aye.
Alderwoman Christomars?
Aye.
Alderman Holliday?
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins?
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter?
Aye.
Resolution 242596 by Alderman Marticello. Resolution to authorize an agreement with Amsterdam Housing Authority for construction management services for the home-funded owner-occupied rehab program.
So moved. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello. Alderwoman Christomars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Resolution 242597 by Alderman Marticello. Resolution to authorize contract with ECS Mid-Atlantic LLC for testing of lead-based paint, asbestos, and radon for the home under owner-occupied rehab program.
So moved. Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Christomars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Resolution 242598, consent by Alderman Marticello. Resolution to award contract for 40 golf carts.
And that money will come from bond resolution. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Christomars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Okay. So ordinance 8 of 2024 by Alderman Holliday, an ordinance modifying section 167-4 of the Amsterdam City Code prohibiting smoking or vaping of tobacco and cannabis products.
So moved. Discussion, anybody? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Christomars.
Aye.
All ordinance 9 of 2024 by Alderman Marticello, an ordinance modifying section 219-1 of the Amsterdam City Code relating to fees for towing.
So moved. Any discussion? Chief, can you make sure the towing companies get this, please? Yes, I can. Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Christomars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
With that, I will, anything else anyone wants to discuss? I'll make a motion to go into executive session for the following.
So we're gonna have 3 executive sessions, one after the next. The first one will be pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 105, Sub 1, Sub D, regarding proposed pending and current litigation. The second executive session will be under 105, Sub 1, Sub E, relating to collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law. And third executive session will be pursuant to Public Officers Law 105, Sub 1, Sub F, relating to the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment, promotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, removal of a particular person or corporation. Motion?
I make that motion?
More subs than Jersey Mike's.
You can call the roll.
Alderwoman Christomars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Alderman
Alderman Collins.
Collins, yes or no, Collins?
Irene.
You say
or
yes
no?
for you?
Aye.
Exactly.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Good thing I was
Thank you,
paying
everyone.
attention.
And James. What do you do?